welcome to Naga Life. As always, I am Chris, your host, and this is the beginning of a new series, a new playlist here on the channel called Story Time. And what I'm gonna do in this playlist and these topics is going into lore. Not just any lore, but obscure and forgotten lore. Even some lore that isn't canon anymore. And to start it all off, we're gonna go with one of the with a lore video of one of the biggest franchises that we know of to date, that has been almost completely erased from memory by our good friends over at Disney. And of course I am talking about Star Wars. Now, the Star Wars universe under George Lucas and Lucasfilms had a very large canon. A lot of books, a lot of comic books, a lot of TV series, miniseries. Basically, when Disney took it over, almost everything up to 2014 was erased. That meant a lot of stuff was just simply gone, no longer canon, both present, past and future events that were simply wiped out of the existing Star Wars canon. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna take one of these elements of the original Star Wars canon and just tell you a bit about it. And we are going to focus on one figure today, and his name is Naga Sadow. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. I know I'm probably butchering a couple of names here, but bear with me. So, Naga Sadow was a Sith Lord, back when the Sith were a real galactic empire. They were still at war with the Republic. Well, kind of at war. At first they weren't really aware that the Republic was still out there after years that they went without contact with the Republic. And it is this period, around 5,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, which we all of course know from Star Wars A New Hope. Around 5,000 years before there, Naga Sadow was a prime member of the ruling council of the Sith Empire. The ruling council was under the rule of a Sith Lord named Marka Ragnos. Again, I'm butchering names, but just bear with me. And at a certain point, this Magna Ragnos died. Now, Naga and a other Sith Lord named Ludo Karesh were the prime candidates to take over the mantle as the ruler of the council. There was conflict between the two, and Naga had his own views about what to do with the Sith Empire, mainly focusing on the expansion of their already vast imperium. And Ludo was more of a conservatist. He said that the empire was big enough and they should focus on building their strength and gathering their strength before looking into any option to expand. Now, the reason Naga ultimately became the ruler of the Sith Council was the arrival of the Daragon twins. Kev and Yori Daragon were explorers from the Republic, and through no fault of their own they found themselves in the Sith Empire while exploring the boundaries of the Republic. Now then, because they arrived, Naga was able to convince the other Sith Lords that the Republic was at the point of invading the Sith Imperium. Which was not true, but the Sith Lord, being suspicious of one another, being afraid of detection by the Republic, they believed Naga at this point and decided to appoint him as ruler of the council and to invade the Republic under his command. Naga sent back Jory Daragon to the Republic, but with the exception that he put a tracking device on the ship. And that way, without Jory knowing it, the forces of the Sith could follow him into the Republic. Gav Daragon, on the other hand, decided to stay with the Sith, and he was appointed as a Padawan for Naga. Now, Naga was of course very pleased that all of his plans was finally coming to fruition, and he pushed on the invasion of the Republic. He took over several systems and actually made it all the way to the galactic interior, and he tried to establish a beachhead on Coruscant. But at this point, Gav Daragon saw what the Sith Lords were all about and decided to turn traitor, rooting once again for the Republic, and he attacked Naga in his meditation sphere. Naga was defeated and he retreated back into Sith space. But upon his arrival in Sith space, he found his once opponent, Ludo Crash, had gathered forces and was ready to receive Naga and take command of the ruling council. However, Ludo failed in this regard. Naga decimated Ludo, killing him in the process, and he was all ready to resume his seat as ruler of the Sith Imperium. But it was at this point that the remaining forces of the Republic came into view. They followed Naga back to the Sith Imperium and forced him into an open conflict. Having been defeated by the Republic the first time round, and having the losses of his battle with Ludo still fresh in his memory, Naga had no option but to accept his defeat against these new Republic forces and retreat even further. He was defeated once again and he ran away up to Yavin 4. There he started building his temples, the ones we all know from A New Hope, which later became the rebel bases, of course. And he continued his work as an alchemist and a Sith researcher there, away from any prying eyes both of the Republic and the Sith Empire. Once he was happy enough with his research and with what he had accomplished, the building of the temples, all the knowledge of the Sith, a holocron as well from the Sith, which is basically a sort of device that stores all the knowledge a Sith Lord possesses. At this point, he decided to put himself in suspended animation. That would mean his mind and his body would be shut down for a period of time in order to be revived years later. Now, we're not sure if it was his intention that it lasted this long, but it took over 600 years for him to be revived by another Sith Lord who had come to Yavin seeking for answers about certain questions involving the Sith. And the person who had revived him was none other than Freedom Nut, who as people maybe of the old canon will know, is a figure we will go into in a later video, but he's definitely worth looking out for. The period where the Sith were at war with the Republic was called the Great Hyperspace War. We will go further into detail about that in another video, but for now it's safe to say that it is a very interesting period, and all you need to know for now is that Naga was the leader back then of the Sith, and as for the Republic forces, we will get back to them. Now this was just a brief little introduction, a shorter video about one of the greatest Sith Lords that ever lived, to my opinion. As I said, it's no longer canon, which is really a shame because there's a lot of stuff going on there. But in the next video we will be looking further into certain events concerning the Dragon twins and the Great Hyperspace War. For now, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like. If you want to comment on anything I said or have a suggestion about what you want to hear a next story over, leave it in the comments down below. And as always, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.